On this episode of the Third and Thirsty podcast, Herberted, the Chargers chargered. Omar's going to vent. I'm going to see if I can make him cry. Let's get into it now. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome into the Third and Thirsty podcast. Your one-pot stop for Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Kansas City referee, and Taylor Swift free AFC West banter. I'm Alex Bell, fan of the Denver Broncos, owner of the number one seed in the AFC, ready to take on the Bills this week. Also have the only Oregon Duck quarterback to make it to the divisional round in the AFC West. To my left, Omar Rubio, fan of the Chargers. They just blew it. Justin Herbert still sucks in the playoffs. To my right, Edgar Larios, fan of the Raiders. They're getting ready for the draft and have nothing to do with these playoffs.
Hey, at this point, Bo Nix still sucks in the playoffs. He hasn't played good, so don't get ahead of yourself.
He's going to get a second chance, and he's still playing next week. I don't know what Herbert's doing this week. He's probably hanging out with
Madison Beer. So it could be worse for him. It could be worse.
He's probably in a freaking bathtub full of ice right now.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, he got his ass kicked yesterday, and he took it like a bitch and went down and just did classic Herbert, playoff Herbert. Arguably his worst playoff game, if you really dive into it. And it was a sight to see, something that I really enjoyed. Kept waiting for a really bad pick. That never came, unfortunately, but played laps like absolute dog shit. Loved it. Omar, tell us about why it wasn't his fault. Because you're a Charger fan, and that's what they do.
No, you I don't know about the worst one. I feel like the year before was the worst one. Like you said, no picks this year. It just seemed like he was just running for his life. It looked like he was just – his clock was sped up. You could see that even when he did have time, because there was some time there that for him to throw.
The offensive line held up better than they have.
Yeah, there was some time for him to throw. Not on every
sometimes.
play.
There was some times
not on every play, but there was
where it looked like there was
here
no
and
offensive
there.
line.
But even then, you could tell he's like 1,000, 1,000. I don't usually have this much time. I got to go.
Yeah.
Like you could tell he wasn't going through all of his reads because there was some open players, which took a little more time to develop. But he missed some throws. He missed some open receivers. Like didn't see them. But like I said, it's just if anybody else would have gotten hit like that, I don't think they're even in the game. Because there was a couple times there where it was like, is he going to get up? Is he going to be able to keep going? He's already got a broken hand. I mean, do we really want to put him out there to fucking take this ass beating and maybe get him hurt for next year? But obviously he's not going to sit out. He's going to, like you said, he's going to take it, not like a bitch, but like a champ. He's going to get back in there, and no matter what, hey, he admitted he hasn't been able to figure it out.
He looks like a broken man, and I love it.
Yeah, hey, but that goes to, I feel like as an organization they didn't do what they could to do, like to get pieces around him, not just pieces, but a coaching staff, offensive coaching staff that's really more innovative. Every time you heard about the coaching staff talking about Justin Herbert, it's like, oh, what about when he gets a running game? Still never seen it.
Good thing Hampton played yesterday.
2 plays, like 2 runs early on, and they were like, yeah, that's not working. Let's get him out. We don't want him, like, again, seriously injure him behind this shitty offensive line, which was getting no push. And even then, it wasn't just the offensive line. I keep going back to coaching. I said it a couple weeks ago, one of their games. I can't remember if it might have been the Texans, where there was like everything that worked the week before, they didn't even try. There was no really outside runs, which that was like one of their bread and butters all year. No toss plays. Again, no screens. Like, how are you not? You have no running game, but you're still not going to throw a screen. It's like you see Justin Herbert getting his ass kicked, and you're still getting all these plays in there that are long developing plays. How is that being helpful to your quarterback? Yeah. And then at that point, even when there was a good play made, it's always a broken play, scramble where he finds an open receiver. And that's the only way that this offense was like moving down the field.
It didn't move down the field very often.
Exactly. That was the only way. It was like, and I think that's what Herbert, you could see it from the outside. It's like, I'm going to have to put this team on my back and try to get all these yards with my legs because nothing's working. Even if they are open, like I said, he was already on the move. He was already getting out of the pocket because he just felt like he had to go.
Yeah.
He was not seeing the field well at all yesterday.
Nope.
I mean, he honestly, like I said, and I honestly mean this, they would have been better off with Trey Lance, the quarterback, and Justin Herbert just
did you
lining
see
up.
it last week?
Hold on, and just Justin lining up as a running back behind him, and just taking the ball and running for 57 yards and leading the team in rushing. He just wasn't seeing the field, man.
Yeah.
He felt, you could tell he was super nervous, which is crazy because he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league talent wise. And if this was a regular season game, the Chargers would have won like 21-12 or some shit. Like they would have won this game because Herbert would have played well, and he would have taken advantage of the situations that he did have. Like we said, he missed open receivers that weren't, or I'm sorry, he didn't even try to get the ball downfield when they were open. And when he did see someone open, he underthrew him. He wasn't accurate at all.
He definitely had the jitters.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely did.
He looked like it was his first playoff game, and he was a
Yeah.
rookie. You would have think that Drake May would have been a little bit more nervous. Drake May didn't play well either.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, honestly, this game was like, I thought it was gonna be like a really good game, but it started off really boring. It was 3-3. Obviously, both offenses weren't really doing much. The defense were just dominating on both sides. Chargers defense was harassing Drake May. That rookie left tackle was having so much trouble against Khalil Mack, but it just seemed like Drake May was just able to do just a little bit more to make those plays, and you know. But I did say, I'm like, Henderson and Stevenson, they definitely did help Drake May a lot running the ball, so especially to Stevenson. He was gaining a lot of tough yards.
And it wasn't even on the ground. It was a lot of checkdowns. Like you said, the Chargers were giving him fits. They had everything covered, and he was just check down. I want to say that Stevenson got like over 70 yards receiving, and it's all checkdowns. So I think they knew they had to keep Drake May somewhat contained, but he got away a little bit there in the beginning, but they seemed to lock that down. But then that's when the running back would get open on the side, you know.
Yeah, Stevenson had 75 yards.
Yeah.
48 came on one. And that was that check down that he turned into 48 yards. But going back to one of the points that you were making earlier, Omar, about how the organization hasn't put anything around Herbert, their defense gave up 9 points through three quarters. So defense put them in a position to win.
That's what I said. That's why it went solely into the offense. Like the
Absolutely,
offense is
1,000%.
shitty concepts, shitty schemes. That whole offensive coaching staff is really going to have to go get a change, I feel. If it's not the offensive line coaching, obviously offensive coordinator is my first choice to go, and then everyone under him is just, you know, open for the taking or open to get fired.
I saw some pissed off Charger fans on X talking about getting rid of Harbaugh.
Dang.
I don't think it's there because he really
Oh,
is
shit.
changing.
You didn't answer right away.
No, I just said because he's changing the culture. That's what he is. He's a culture changer, leader of men. He's not out there making the calls. He's not a coordinator. He's there to change the culture, and I feel like that's happened by the way that they're playing. Like shitty teams that usually we would have lost to, they're not playing down to their competition anymore.
The culture is the same exact thing. Play really well in the regular season and blow it in the playoffs.
Again, no tackles, no running back.
I'm not taking anything away from what they did in the regular season. It was honestly like incredible that they made the postseason. During our midseason predictions, I had them finishing with what, eight wins, nine wins.
After Rashawn Slater went down before the season started, you said season's over. After Joe Alt went down week 3 and then week 6, you said season's over.
Yep.
That's why I said if you look at the whole season as a whole, I feel like the Chargers overachieved with what they had.
Given the circumstances, yeah, making the playoffs was pretty impressive. But again, I mean, it was just like how I talked about after they won their first 3 games. It paid off at the end for Bronco fans to watch because they found a way to Charger at the end and travel across the country to go kick a field goal.
Yeah.
is pretty hilarious.
Yep. And then if you look at the last 2 seasons, how they ended, the 2 offensive outputs. I heard this on a podcast earlier, Guilty as Charged podcast. They had 22 drives in those 2 games, 1 touchdown. It's just, guys, the routes that they're running, they're all like long intermediate routes. They're not giving Herbert like any safety nets. Like you see with Bo Nix all the time. He's always got that safety net, whether it be the tight end, whether it be the like a shallow crosser just running across in his face, so it's easy to see. Like they don't scheme up Justin Herbert those easy throws. It's like they think he can make those big throws, so let's just all big throws. There's no easy keep the ball moving down the field, which is what tires defenses out. You know, defenses don't get tired off of one big play and then they're done. You know, then the offense comes back out. So I think they need to get with the times. They think that they're running this like medieval style offensive scheme, but it's just too old, too simple. There was another quote that came out by one of the Patriots defenders, Robert Spillane. I guess after the game went to go like say what's up to some of the Chargers players, like, hey, you know, good luck next time or whatever. And one of the Chargers players told him that, dude, we didn't know what you guys were doing out there. For a offensive player to tell a defensive player that we had no clue what you guys were doing out there, that just shows that they were unprepared.
Damn.
You had 2 weeks as an offensive coaching staff to game plan for this game. You knew who you were playing.
Yeah.
And if you can't figure out what they're doing, which playing man, stacking the box, it's if one of the hosts of the Not Knowing Ball podcast can see that, like, come on, dude. Like, then there's no adjustments made until the very end where they're like, oh, man, maybe we should throw these little short passes and get the ball out of Herbert's hands quick. And then like, oh, shoot, first down. Oh, shoot, first down. Like, that was nowhere to be seen earlier in the game.
So you're saying if they didn't know what the Patriots were doing on defense, and that also includes Herbert, so
yeah,
Herbert's 6 years in, he still doesn't know how to read a defense?
But they're unprepared. It's like what they're calling is playing right into the defense's hands. And it's maybe you're right. It is up to Herbert to call out of those plays, but what if they don't give him that freedom, or they just say, no, just run my play because
Justin Herbert should have the freedom to change the line, or change the call at the line of scrimmage.
That's what I'm saying. But what if they're not giving it to him because they're like, this is my...
I'm sorry. There's no way that they're not giving him the chance to make adjustments
to like kill a play and go to a run.
I guarantee he does that.
But they don't really, but they don't operate in like a no huddle to where he's just calling plays and he's, you know, kind of ad-libbing as he goes. He's kind of, this I know this play's going to work, so let's run this play first to kind of set him up. He's not. I don't think they're having.
There's
those
not a lot of quarterbacks that run their own offense. I mean, there was Peyton Manning, which, by the way, Herbert keeps getting compared to because they lost their first playoff games, which is just crazy because Peyton Manning did it doesn't mean that Herbert is going to turn things around. Herbert doesn't even look confident that he will in his little press conference after.
I mean, would you look confident after losing the game, you know?
Well, I don't even shit. I mean, I can't even imagine playing in the NFL. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Are you confident after you get your ass beaten Madden right after?
I never lose a Madden. The computer could never beat me.
On novice mode.
But yeah, I mean, back to Herbert not being Peyton Manning. I mean, he was 1 of 7 in the second half for 0 yards until it didn't matter. And didn't even have 100 yards in the game when it was competitive. Ended up with like 150 something, but 66 yards of it came on that last drive when the Patriots were just letting him have everything.
But when, like I said, when they were like, all right, let's get this quick passing game going.
No.
A little too late.
No, it's because the defense was playing back and letting them have anything underneath. They didn't want to give it the big play to where now it's 10 to 16. So they were letting them have 5 yards here, 6 yards there, 7 yards there. And that's the only reason why he was completing those passes, because the Patriots were saying, take it. We'll let you have that, but you're not getting a big play on us. Yeah, that's the only time Herbert was able to complete passes.
Plays. There weren't any of those quick short routes. There wasn't anything short, quick, and 3-step drop, get it out of your hands. It's not even a thinking. It's just 3-step drop, that's your option, and you get it out of your hands and go. It was just let it develop. And at this point, after taking all those hits, like I said, his clock's already sped up. He's already jittery. He's already got happy feet, needing to get out of the pocket.
Yeah. Damn, I thought you were going to say you took all the assists and got dementia already. It kind of looked like it the way he played yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, sad to say, but he's kind of looking like Andrew Luck did there towards the end of his career, where he's just like, I'm here. Like, I'm showing up. I'm here every day. I'm trying to do my best. But
Think he retires this offseason?
no way. He's got too much dog in him to retire.
No,
he wouldn't have played with his broken hand if he was already ready to call it quits.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, so here's an actual question for you. He's 0-3 in the playoffs. He's looked terrible in all 3 games. I'll give you the first game. He looked pretty good until the second half, but lost the game. Are you at the point yet where you're starting to think, oh shit, Herbert doesn't have it?
Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm starting to think that, but I still have seen enough, and I know that he's got, like I said, he's got that dog in him. I think they just need a better, more innovative mind at OC. Somebody, I mean, there's a bunch of guys that are out there right now that have had head coaching experience, like a Brian Dable, the guy Stefanski. If they don't get head coaching jobs, they're going to be looking for OC jobs, and I'm hoping we have an opening.
I think those guys will get a head coaching job.
You never know. Dable, you never
Cliff,
know.
Or Kingsbury or McDaniel might not get head coaching
Even
jobs.
that's another one that I forgot is McDaniel. He's quirky, but hey, you're going to be offensive coordinator, man. You don't make any decisions here besides what play you're calling.
Yeah.
So that I think would be a good one. Obviously, he's going to bring a whole new coaching staff with him, which at this point, I mean, from what I've seen the last 2 years with this coaching staff, it is time for a change. It is time for offensively. Defensively, we're probably going to have to do it, but because
You're going to have to, because I think Minter's
Jesse
getting a
Minter
job.
was even that Jesse Minter had himself a hell of a game yesterday, giving, like you said, Drake May a bunch of fits. He made some really good throws there, opportune throws. That one throw to Hunter Henry was a beauty. Can't take that away from him. The only touchdown that they gave up.
Yeah, and I was just starting to think, right when that play happened, I was like, man, Drake May against a good defense actually isn't that good. Like, I know the MVP is supposed to be a regular season award, so you can't really judge him off of it, but it's like, I don't know if he's the MVP, because this is the first time he's really faced a really good defense all season, and I mean, he looked pretty mediocre, if you ask me. But, I mean, it could have just been first playoff game situation, blah, 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 but watching that game made me feel a lot better as a Broncos fan of, like, if the Broncos get the Patriots, if the Broncos were to win this week and they get the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, I feel so confident about that game now. Like, the Patriots defense stepped up. They played well, but I can't see Drake May beating the Broncos if he plays like that. So I'm pretty confident already.
And I'm pretty sure the Broncos would probably score more than 3 points.
I would imagine that the Broncos scored more than 3 points. That's pretty tough to do, not to be able to score 3 points. But that also means that in the last 2 games, the Chargers have scored 6 points. And I know Week 18 against the Broncos was a little different, but still 6 points in 2 games is pretty fucking pathetic.
Yeah. Seems like the Greg Roman was just calling the same plays as they did the week before. Yeah,
So it'll work this time. I don't have Trey Lance working.
No, there's another quote that I just remembered that at the beginning of the season, I guess when they brought in Keenan Allen, Greg Roman told him, "Oh, you're not going to like the way I call plays. I call plays to win. I don't exploit their weakness. I empower my strengths." And it's like, what are your strengths at this point? He's supposed to be like a running game guru, and he's had like the worst running offenses in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
So,
especially in the playoffs. I mean, it's all about matchups in the playoffs. So,
and even that, and all of his playoffs, they've always been duds. Whether it be with Kaepernick, he had the one good season with Kaepernick, and then
I was going to say he made it to a Super Bowl. Was that
the one good year with Kaepernick, and then he had an MVP and Lamar Jackson. They were all duds. I think the game has just passed him up at this point. I think he's just trying to relive the glory days, but it's just the game is just beyond him now.
Yeah, well, it was pretty rough for the Chargers, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching the game yesterday, even though it was definitely the worst game of the weekend, given that like every other game was a banger
Yeah.
from start to finish. I think a casual football fan probably didn't enjoy this game very often or as much. Although we have no idea what's going on with the Steelers and the Texans right now, so we'll check into that.
That was close game.
Yeah, we're recording on Monday Night Football, so we'll have to look into that for the next episode when we start making picks. But anything else you want to add for the Chargers downfall?
I'll just give out my shout out to, like I said, the defense. Jesse Minter, if this was his last game, it was a sucky way to go out, but at least his defense did their job. Odafe Owe had 3 sacks. He was a monster. The whole D-line was a monster. Everybody on the defense, there was minimal errors. They didn't beat themselves with stupid penalties. They really did what they needed to do. The offense didn't help them out whatsoever.
Yep. Love it. Speaking of the Monday night game, Houston jumped up on Pittsburgh. Looks like that game's over 24-6 with 3 minutes left.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that game was really tight when we started recording. Okay. Well, I think I have said everything I needed to say. I'm sure I forgot a few things that I've been thinking over the last couple of 24 hours or so, but just know that the Chargers fucking suck, and Herbert will always suck in the playoffs. If he blows it again next year, what are you starting to think?
Yeah, I mean, blows it again next year. You start thinking if he's the right guy.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah,
Love it.
I mean, at that point, you're a couple years into that contract. You really have to think about it. You don't want to be stuck in the Dak Prescott type of contract where he plays just good enough to be okay, but then he's never great. He's never, taking that next
if that's
step.
fair. Dak was like an MVP candidate. It was just last year.
Yeah, but what has he done?
No, fair enough.
Same thing in the
Fair
playoffs.
enough.
It's just won one game, I think.
Okay, so at least he's got one.
See, but it's you're getting to that point with the contract though, where you're paying all these, you're paying this guy all this money, but you don't have, enough more to go around to everybody that's aging on your roster.
Yeah, quarterback contracts really make things difficult for NFL teams now because you could really only pay somebody if they're like super top notch, but also you have to pay anybody that's decent because what else you got?
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at.
That's why Tua has that huge contract and isn't even going to be on the Dolphins next year. So
yeah, I don't want to be in that situation unless it's going in the right direction.
Okay, well, we'll remember that next year when Herbert has another shitty playoff game.
Well, let's hope he has a running back and some tackles next year. And they got a lot of money, so they'll be able to spend a little bit here in the offseason.
Yeah, if I'm a free agent, I'm dying to go to a team that always gets bounced in the first round.
If they're giving me fucking blank check, then sign me up.
Omar could play left tackle.
You hear that, Linderbaum? Blank check, bro. Linderbaum, come on over.
Okay. You guys want to do IPAs and seltzers first, or before we get into some coach talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we do that, shout out to anybody that's watching us on YouTube, stuck around through all of that. If you're a Charger fan, I hope you had a really shitty night last night, and I hope you really are having a hard time like Omar is. Bronco fans, let's continue to celebrate. And Raider fans, if you're sticking around for these podcasts, shout out to you. You're a real one for sure.
For real.
So like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really appreciate that. So IPA seltzers, you want to give it out an IPA? Is there anyone on the Chargers that deserved an IPA outside of the guy you just mentioned that had 3 sacks with a funny name?
Odafe Owe? No, I was going to give it to him, but I don't know if I'll be able to give it to this guy any longer. Khalil Mack had himself a great game, was really like pushing back that left tackle into Drake May's face the whole game. A couple of the sacks that Owe got were because of the pressure that Khalil Mack applied. He was great in the run game. This might have been his last game, unfortunately. We'll see. Hopefully they can talk him back into coming back for one more. But yeah, Khalil Mack, IPA.
Okay. Edgar, because I still have no idea who I'm giving an IPA to.
I ain't gonna lie. I was actually thinking while Omar was talking, but luckily I thought of one.
I don't.
Honestly, I thought this game was gonna. I thought this quarterback was going to lose, and it was literally going to be his only chance of winning a fucking, or at least trying to make it to the Super Bowl, since like none of his rivals are in the playoffs. And my IPA is going to Josh Allen. He took that team on his fucking back, and he won that game for them. James Cook wasn't having the best game, but this dude was just, even hurt, he was fucking carrying that team when he scored that touchdown.
Okay.
So Josh Allen, IPA.
You know what? I'll double up with you. I'll give Josh Allen an IPA. One, because he's super going to need it after this week because he's going to lose. But two, also knocking out the Jags. Gave me an opportunity to go on Twitter and talk mad shit to Jag fans. And they're super sensitive and soft and got super upset. So anyone in Duval that's watching this for some reason, fuck you. Eat shit. GLP-1 and die, as one of my haters would say. So, seltzers.
There's a lot I could give out. A whole lot. We talked about a lot of people on the offense today, but I'm going to give it to Raiders fans.
What the
because
Why?
they won their Super Bowl yesterday when the Raiders lost, or the Chargers lost, right? I got so much hate on social media from anybody, except for from Edgar. Edgar, you don't deserve one. I got shit from everybody that's a Raiders fan around me, and it's like you would have thought that they won the Super Bowl yesterday when the Chargers lost for as much shit as they were talking. And I don't even like talk shit like that to those people. They just were like, since I posted something and I'm out there and we do this, they're like, oh, haha, like, how does it feel? You guys are the same as the Raiders. I'm like, no, we're not. It's like, you guys are the first pick and we made it to the playoffs. It's like, you guys could say you guys had injuries on the line. So did we. It's like, we're the same. It's like, no, we're not. It's like, that thinking is what makes Raiders fans delirious.
Relax.
Seltzer for Edgar. Who you got?
My seltzer is gonna go to somebody who was fucking acting a menace on the damn sidelines, but when it came up to the moment, he choked. He didn't catch one single fucking ball. He was fighting with his coach. He was being a drama queen, and honestly, by the way it looks like after the game, he was giving all his teammates a hug and he left the locker room. It looking like he's not going to be an Eagles no more. He's not going to be with the Eagles anymore. So AJ Brown, you get a seltzer, bro. You literally threw a bitch fit in the sidelines and you didn't catch a single ball, and every single one of those balls were catchable, especially with your talent, dude. You basically lost the game for the Eagles, so seltzer to this fool.
He might have also just like ruined that. What is it? That commercial he's in, the treadmill, maybe a Peloton treadmill commercial.
I don't know.
He might have just killed that for himself, man.
I think he'll do fine without that money. But yeah, AJ Brown is trash.
Yeah.
I saw people on Twitter, like Bronco accounts, being like, should the Broncos trade for AJ Brown this offseason? And hell no.
Dude, yeah, there's
Absolutely not.
That's right up the Broncos' alley.
No, it's not. When's the last time they traded for a wide receiver like AJ Brown?
Oh no, I'm just saying for trading for a big contract and that being shitty.
Oh, no, that was for a quarterback who was also super shitty. But shitty in a different way. He was a super duper cornball. But look at the Broncos wide receiver room, man. You got Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant. What all those guys have in common is they're not divas and they're not assholes. And they're guys that you could root for, and they're not going to go in there and be a cancer room in the locker room. So A.J. Brown is the opposite of that, and he doesn't show up in those big moments like you just said.
and it wasn't the first time, too. We saw it when against the Chargers. He did the same thing.
Right. That's right. Yeah, we were watching the game live, and he just – those catches that would change the game, he doesn't make.
Yep.
Yeah, no. If the Broncos trade for A.J. Brown, hearing it first, I'm no longer a Bronco fan. No, I take that back.
I was like, whoa.
It would never happen. It would never happen. Sean Payton would never do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, my seltzer is going to Tony Jefferson. Talking all that shit after losing to the Broncos week 18, and which, by the way, was so fucking fake because all the other mic'd up stuff that came from that game came out after, and he was just being super complimentary to all the Bronco all the Bronco players he was talking to. Told Sean Payton he had nothing but respect, and then he saw that he had a camera on him, so he had to act all tough and shit. And then he's still on Twitter talking shit to Bronco fans from Cancun, I would imagine. So. Tony Jefferson, shut the hell up. Hope you enjoyed your season and enjoy the rest of the playoffs from the couch, like we all are. Anything else?
He didn't play bad. Had a good game, so.
Yeah, well, it wasn't enough to move on. If you really wanted to shut the Broncos up, then you could have won yesterday. And, the Chargers twice in a row had a chance to take care of business to make a really interesting game with the Broncos, and they blew both of them just because that's what the Chargers do. So, Tony Jefferson, take that shit. I'm sure you're not watching or listening, so whatever. Charger fans, suck it for them. You guys want to talk about some coaches?
Yeah, sure. Let's get into it, man.
Okay.
Like I said, I really want we already know the Raiders are looking for a head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, everything.
Everything.
I know the Chargers, I hope the Chargers will be looking for an offensive coordinator, and I hope they won't be looking for a defensive coordinator. But the only way that'll happen is if Jesse Minter doesn't see the perfect opening for him, or if the one that he wants the most, like they give it to somebody else, and then he's like, I'll just wait one more year. But as for Greg Roman, he could have been fired yesterday before they left the stadium, as far as I care. And then everybody under him, I don't see anybody except for maybe the wide receivers coach. He's been doing okay with development. But besides that, I mean, offensive line was shitty. The scheme, I've already said enough about it. So I'm hoping they'd be looking for somebody maybe that doesn't get like a head coaching opportunity, like Brian Dable, Stefanski, McDaniel from the Dolphins. Something like that. Somebody that's a little more younger, innovative. Somebody that could grow with Justin Herbert for a couple of years until they get another shot at a head coaching position. But I feel like that's what they need. They need somebody that's younger that can just kind of connect with him a little bit more instead of him thinking like, okay, I just got to do what this guy tells me because he's my coach, he's my boss. Instead of just kind of like coming together and kind of creating an offense together. I feel like that's what he needs. Somebody somebody just younger and a little more relatable.
You want a coordinator to come in and not be a coordinator, is what you're saying?
No, just
you want him to be friends. You want him to be friends with Justin Herbert.
No, for them to collaborate and come up with like, hey, Justin, what do you like? What do you like to do?
He's not there yet, bro.
I'm
sorry, he's not there yet. We still want to compare him to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning could do that. Justin Herbert's not that dude.
Yeah, he doesn't have that type of like character to him to where he's gonna like, no, this is what I need to do. He's just gonna say, all right, you're my coach.
Even if he did, he doesn't. He doesn't have that pull. He's just not that guy yet, man. He can't run an offense. Come on. I don't know if there's a quarterback in the league that could run an offense like Peyton Manning.
I didn't say for him to run the offense, but to be collaborative instead of this is what you have to do. But Justin Herbert can say, well, can I do it this way instead? But yeah, that'll work. If we do this, then yeah, that works. If that makes you feel more comfortable. I just felt like they were always trying to tell Justin Herbert what he should be most comfortable with instead of like taking his input, which, like I said, he's not the type to where he's gonna assert his own will on a coaching staff because that's just not the type of person he is. He's the one that's like the I'm gonna study my ass off. I'm gonna watch film. I'm gonna do everything you guys tell me, and that should put me in the right position to win these games. So that's just the type of quarterback and the type of mentality he carries.
Hasn't worked so far.
Yeah. No, and you're right. There has been a lot of talk about maybe he needs to be more like that, but that's just not. I feel like it would be faking it at that point. He's not that type of person. They just need to realize what type of person he is and kind of not break him out of his shell, but just kind of, like I said, collaborate with him a little bit more and ask him a little bit more instead of telling him.
I'm sure he has some feedback when it comes to running the offense, but...
Well, Greg Roman had to go and visit him and kind of get him to say, like, tell him saying, like, hey, this upcoming year, this was in the offseason last year, this upcoming year, we want you to use your legs more. Like, yeah, you have a great arm, but we want you to use your legs more. So
I want you to be the leading rusher in our wild card game. We're going to lose.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that they just told him. They're telling him what to do. They're not giving him like or he's maybe not taking the freedom to ad lib and just change things up a little bit here and there, you know. But that's just not the type of person he is. He's a hell of a studier. He's always in the weight room, but just he's going to do what his coaches tell him to do.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, well, for me with the Chargers, I don't know. I don't care who they get.
You're just hoping that Jesse Minter leaves.
I am. I'm not going to lie about that. Definitely hoping Jesse Minter leaves, and I think he will.
Yeah, honestly, there's a good chance he will. There's a quarter of the NFL that's looking for
It's crazy.
Yeah, but who's going to want
a coach?
Sorry, but who's going to want to go to the Raiders as a?
I never said
year?
that. I never said
No.
I never said
I'm
that.
saying sorry. I'm saying first of all, but I'm saying
that.
I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying who's going to want to go to the Raiders as a first-time head coach where for the most part it's going to take a couple years and it might take long enough to where you're not even there anymore.
It doesn't always take a couple of years. Yeah. It doesn't always.
Yeah, if you're
you got to get two things right. You got to get the head coach. You got to get the quarterback right. The Broncos did it with Sean Payton and Bo Nix. They've turned things around. I mean, just look at this year. The Patriots. They picked fourth in the draft. They brought in Vrabel. Drake May took off.
There's Patriots. There's a Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. There's Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams.
Yep.
There's as long as you have a good head coach with a good offensive play caller with a good quarterback, you can win games.
You could turn things around pretty quickly.
As for that, for me, Justin Minter is a great coach. Don't get me wrong, but Alex said it best last week. I think Raiders are a better position to get an offensive-minded coach to basically grow with the quarterback, which I'm hoping they're going for first round. Grow with him, basically let him build that offense so he never has to leave. Because if we end up going to defensive-minded coach and we get a good offensive-minded or a good OC, this guy, like maybe by next year, he can get pulled from like somebody else. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's pretty tricky right now because there's a lot of good offensive-minded coach. It's kind of crazy because the Raiders are literally they're interviewing everybody. And when I mean everybody, I mean everybody. They've done Clint Kubiak, Vance Joseph, Matt Nagy, Kevin Stefanski. And the one that was really shocking to me because I did not see this coming was Davis Webb. Davis Webb is the QB coach and the pass game coordinator. He's basically like
for the Raiders?
For the Broncos.
No, for the Broncos.
Oh.
He's he's an upcoming coach that nobody really like.
I think he's younger than all of us, actually.
Yeah, he's 31 years old. When he did his interview with Sean Payton on his way to the airport, Sean Payton called the Airbnb, or not the Airbnb, the Uber or whatever, to tell him to come back. He wanted him to be his, like, being part of his coaching staff. So for somebody barely coaching, like for his first job and already being coaching like with the quarterback and everything, like there's a lot of respectable people like saying that this guy's gonna be a head coach soon. But unfortunately, like, you know, he's still new, he's still young, so like, you know, that's somebody that like you would have to let him grow as you're growing too. But I don't see the Raiders going to him, but it's really interesting the way I've been hearing about him because, like I said, you know, there's a lot of respectable coaches out there that are talking highly about this guy. And a lot of Raider Nation's like, well, we should just hire him as an OC. That's great and all, but what if he turns out being great and then somebody can just take him from us?
Yeah, I think that's what would happen. No, that's one of the things that I don't want to see the Raiders do because multiple reasons. One, I would have to hate two of my guys, but one of the things I saw that could happen is they hire Vance Joseph as a head coach, and then he brings in Davis Webb as the offensive coordinator. Obviously, again, I would hate it because I'd have to hate two of my dudes. But secondly, I have a lot of confidence that Vance Joseph is ready to go in and turn the team around. He's awesome. Leader of men, obviously has a great defensive scheme. Wherever he goes, he's going to succeed this time, I think. And then obviously Davis Webb sure feels like he's going to be leaving after this year because he has had interviews as an offensive coordinator for other teams. I can't remember who.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he left as a head coach, especially never have called.
I think his next step will be offensive coordinator. He only played or called plays once, and that was during the preseason.
Yeah. Yeah.
They gave him the play calling duties instead of the OC.
Yeah.
Joe Lombardi sucks so bad.
Yeah, they're like
Davis West's a fucking rock star,
and,
man.
and from what I heard, he did really well during that game.
Yeah, he did.
So like, it's
did.
like
A lot of stupid Bronco fans were saying that he should take over for Sean Payton.
Yeah, they were saying like, during the season when the
Nuts.
Broncos were having issues, they did say that he should take over. But like, I don't see the Raiders really taking the risk with going with him. Mm-hmm. But it's really interesting how like, for me, I thought it was interesting because like, it's just a young head coach, and you know how like right now a lot of young head coaches have been taking over. So it's like, some people are overthinking it, but it's a big risk, and we're in a situation where if we can get it right, we can really turn this around. So they can't take that big of a risk. They gotta take something that's more 100%. If John Harbaugh wants to become a head coach, which he has a lot of teams to pick through, but that's something that I would be a little more confident because he's been there. He's not old enough to. He's old enough to be with us for the next 10 years, if anything. He's not like Pete, where he might end up retiring in the next 3-4 years. But I don't know. There's a lot of coaches that are coming up this season. My favorite, my top of the pick, I would say is Kent Kubiak. I still think he's really good at calling. I feel like he'll be able to turn this offense around. I'm sure he'll be able to bring in somebody for defense, and
I'm assuming that's Gary Kubiak's son.
Yeah, he's the Kubiak son. Okay. Yeah.
So I can see him giving him the time and letting him just build this team the right way, basically. Especially because he's young and he's he's a really creative offensive play caller, which really excites me. If we do end up going to Fernando Mendoza with Ashton Genty and all the weapons, if we can get that offensive line, I can see it's going to be very exciting to see Clint Kubiak call those offensive play calls for that offense.
Yeah, things could turn around pretty quickly in Vegas if they make the right moves. I hope that they don't.
I feel like that'd be a good call, especially he'd probably bring his dad with him, Gary Kubiak, and then all the connections that he has around the league. He wasn't a horrible coach.
No, he was a great coach.
Yeah, he was a good coach, but that's what I'm saying. That just he brings his dad with him, and then all these connections around the league.
Horrible coach. You won a fucking Super Bowl
to build. Yeah, but to build a coaching staff around him that'll help him out.
Yeah,
that'd be a good call.
But I did also see a rumor where because of I've been seeing a lot of rumors because of a lot of connections to Tom Brady and Spytek. One of them was what's his name? The defensive corner for the Vikings.
Flores.
Flores. He's obviously from the Patriots tree, so they were saying that Tom Brady might want him as a head coach, and Daboll was also part of that Patriots tree. So maybe that's he can do our offense, which I wouldn't mind. Daboll did help Josh Allen become where he developed Josh Allen, so it'll be pretty interesting seeing it that way. But that Vance Joseph and
Davis Webb.
That's also very interesting. So I don't know. Like I said, the Raiders can go any way. I still think Clint Kubiak is the way to go, but they just, like I said, I don't want to be in that meeting being like, okay, your choice.
Tom Brady,
Brendan Carroll.
Yeah, Spytek, dude. Don't come calling to me. I know Third and Thirsty. I know we know our things, but on this one, I don't want to get my hands dirty. I don't want to get involved because, fuck no, I don't want to get blamed for it.
Tom Brady, if you're listening, Edgar's out on this one.
No, Tom Brady, you're out of it too. You fucking picked Chip Kelly, so let Spytek pick.
Brendan Carroll.
Anything else you guys want to add for this one?
Yeah, what does Joe Lombardi do again?
I don't know. He's got a title. He's kicking it. He's chilling. I don't know. I'm
Whatever
sure
it is, I wouldn't mind taking it. If it is getting gum for fucking Sean Payton.
He's doing as an offensive coordinator for the Broncos.
I don't know. He's friends with Sean Payton, I guess.
Get some gum.
Yeah, I'll be collecting a check too.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
No.
Okay. Let's get on to the next episode. Until then, 25 days until Bo Nix wins his first Super Bowl. Cheers.
Might be able to do it because he doesn't have to play against Jesse Minter.